This ends the portrayal of typical work grounds. What follows now is a discussion among the team members of what you have just seen.
Okay, so my first question is, what we did this morning, what we demonstrated, do you think that's a pretty accurate portrayal of what grounds are really like in a typical U.S. GME program?
Yes,
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
And what were the things that you think were most important to demonstrate?
So usually the intern will pre-round on the patient. He will see the patient in the morning, will get all the events overnight, like vital signs, and see the patient early.
You need to write note.
Yeah. And then you will round with the senior, and you present the case to the senior and like discuss management and
Right.
do a lot of teaching during.
I think there's lots of teaching that goes on during work rounds, and oftentimes the focus is on the medical students if the interns are too smart. So that's been my experience at least. Oftentimes interns are way ahead of you, so you can only pimp the students, and sometimes even the students, are too good to teach. So.
Not here.
But
That's
true.
yeah,
That's true.
we try to spend as much time as possible with each case to, get the most of
You
it.
said pimping the students.
Pimping the
Can
students.
you explain what pimping is?
Pimping is when you call out on them and put them on the spotlight and ask them questions and expect for them to know the answers. Or even better, for them not to know the answers and become really embarrassed and blush. That's
So,
pimping.
Is that a mean thing to do?
It can be.
Depends on the tone, how you do
Depends
it.
upon how you do
It
it.
depends on how you do it. Yeah, we do it really friendlyly.
Yeah.
But
I think it's supposed to inspire the medical student to go home and read and study
Exactly.
more, because if you don't know an answer, you're not doing the best you can for your patients and for the hospital.
Exactly. And it's my experience that whenever you get asked a question that you don't know the answer to, that sort of feeling of failure that in general we feel about not knowing an answer sort of inspires you to go read something and find that you wouldn't otherwise do on your own if you didn't have that sort of stimulus. So I think it's good.
So it's not a bad thing on rounds to say that you don't know the answer to something?
No,
That's encouraged.
Not at all.
No, it's, yeah.
It's really encouraged to say, I don't know.
Like,
If
you're
you don't
not
know.
supposed to know everything. Like that's
Yeah.
what you're in the residency. You're gonna learn.
Right. You can't say I don't know things that you're supposed to know. Like if you're supposed to gather laboratory data that you're responsible for gathering and you don't have that information, then that can be
You're supposed to know your patients.
that would be a problem. But but you're
If
not
you
supposed to
don't
know
know
medical
what
knowledge that's
happened
beyond
with
your
them.
level of training.
And it's always better to say don't know rather than to make up stuff, which can be bad for
Exactly.
the patient.
Even though we all feel the urge to make up things.
Nurse Michelle, tell us about the role of nurses in work rounds.
So usually when the teams are rounding, that's when we just got sign out on the patients. So we're also going and learning about our patients at that point too. And it's really, really helpful when the teams come and instead of just writing orders and then moving on, they come and communicate and say, this is what our plan is, this is what we're doing for the day, we want to stop this medicine or start this medicine. This way there's nothing missed on any of our ends, because a lot of times they don't have all the information either that I can pass on that I had found out. Because sometimes the nurses get signed out from the nighttime, information that the interns might not get signed out from the night interns.
Yeah, and our system is, I think, really important to communicate with nursing staff because they know things you could not know otherwise. Like you could never know that information unless you're spending time with a patient like for 8 or 12 hours, in a row. So it's really important that and the better the nurse is, the more information you get out of them, and then the less you have to do yourself.
So some of you are international graduates, right?
Yeah.
And so when you came
Really?
here,
Yeah.
did you find rounds to be something new, something different, challenging? What was your first experience with rounds, and what do you remember about that?
Well, I think the rounds are different than what they used to be back in our home country, but they're more relaxed here. It's in a more friendly way, and people are not like that authoritative as they used to be back home. And it also depends upon what senior you round with. I was fortunate to have amazing seniors in starting. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the huge difference actually to me was the amount of interaction between senior and junior, even attending with junior. So I'm from South Korea, so we kind of used to the strong hierarchy system.
Right.
So we don't really ask them questions directly to attending. It's kind of even seem to rude to someone. So that kind of thing is can I approach the attending to ask some stupid question? I think that's.
Yeah, I remember once someone asked me when I was an intern, just page the attending and ask them what they want. I said, what? I can't call you attending? Are you crazy? You're gonna bite my head off. I still feel weird about that.
Yeah.
But people are really very friendly in general,
Yeah.
and you're right, that hierarchy is very relaxed. So, although it still exists, it's not
Yeah.
Yeah.
very rigid.
All right. Thank you very much.
Oh, and Einstein rules.